Now, live on KBTX, the Brazos Valley's news leader, this is News 3 at 10.
Fireworks lit up the sky tonight in College Station at the annual I Love America celebration at the George Bush Presidential Library. Things kicked off at 5:30 with the fireworks show starting at 9:30. The evening was full of music, food, and games for the whole family. We spoke to Robert Torres and his family about why they came out this year.
Yeah, it's more like a tradition that we come every year out here to watch the fireworks, and more importantly, let the kids see what the Independence Day is all about, being together, being humble. And I like they opened up the library this year, so the kids walked in, got a little bit of education, at the same time get to have a little good time.
And over in Madisonville, a fireworks show wrapped up just a little bit ago at Lake Madison. There was a great turnout tonight for the city's 4th of July celebration this evening. The fireworks show began at 9:30. The celebration also included food, live music, a car show, and fireworks over the lake to close out the evening. During the celebration, residents were also able to beat the heat with a splash pad that just opened to residents there in Madisonville. And this was the first year Madisonville hosted the event at Lake Madison. Americans across the nation are celebrating on this July 4th, including the famous Macy's 4th of July fireworks ceremony in New York. Weijia Jiang takes us to some of the country's biggest shows.
Americans wore red, white, and blue to celebrate the nation's 240th birthday. They celebrated veterans. The United States welcomed more than 7,000 new citizens.
I can even explain to you, it's like a dream come true.
Patriots marched down Washington, D.C.'s Constitution Avenue, tubed down a lazy Texas river, floated on a Louisiana lake, frolicked in the California surf, and fired up their grills. It's not the 4th of July unless you have the Boston Pops. Millions capped off a star-spangled day with their eyes on the sky for Macy's annual fireworks along New York City's East River. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Washington.
Well, a beautiful day today, and we had pretty clear skies for weather. KBTX meteorologist Mac Morris joining us now. Mac, a pretty warm night.
Yeah, we got up to 96 today, Clay, and it actually felt like about 108 at one point earlier today. And right now, we're currently sitting in the mid 80s. It's still pretty hot out there. Actually feels like it's about 90 at this hour at 84 with mainly clear skies. A couple of fireworks there on the horizon there, looking from Wells Fargo at Highway 6 and Briarcrest there, but things are still pretty warm this evening. Feeling still like the low to mid 90s in some spots, even some upper 80s at this hour now, but feels like 91 here, 91 in Madisonville, and 89 in Trinity. So very warm evening setting up, and by the time we get into tomorrow, it'll start off warm in the early morning. We'll already be up to about 86 by around 10 a.m. and only getting hotter throughout the day as we top out about 97 with some scattered clouds, hot and breezy once again.
Thanks very much, Mac. Well, some Huntsville residents spent their 4th of July holiday appearing in a feature film. News 3's Whitney Miller was on the set of the upcoming movie. She joins us now live in the studio. Whitney.
Well, Clay, the movie Stronger is set to be released in early 2017, but today the crew shot their final scenes in Huntsville. The movie itself is about a soldier who's gone to Afghanistan and now suffers with PTSD. The makers of the film used the theme of Independence Day to bring awareness to the men and women who suffer from the disorder.
Freedom isn't free. There's people that have to go out and sacrifice.
Jim Davis is a member of American Legion Post 95 and says he jumped at the chance to be an extra when he found out what the movie Stronger was all about.
This is Independence Day. What better way to spend it than learning and talking with people and supporting our veterans and our current active duty people. They're the reason we can do this.
In the film, Ulysses Laramendi plays a soldier who deals with PTSD and the effects it has on not only him, but his family.
I've learned a lot. It's things I didn't even expect. And I was looking for information on post-traumatic stress, but what I got instead was a lot more than I bargained for, which has shaped my character in many ways.
The process of learning took us to understand that it goes beyond veterans, that first responders also deal with PTSD, as well as just civilians who've experienced traumatic events.
Executive producer Carla McDougall says making this film and researching the disorder led her to create the organization Stronger Together Alliance, a group of support groups across the country that are already helping those in need.
We just thought there's brokenness in this world, and we could help through a movie. We could help bring hope and healing and show that through Christ.
Now, the movie, funded entirely by donations, is set to come out February of 2017. The makers of the film say they want to pay that forward and donate those proceeds to the Stronger Together Alliance so that those who need support across the country can receive it. For now, live in the News Center, Whitney Miller, News 3.
Thanks very much, Whitney. Well, we have an update to a story we told you about Friday involving authorities having to step on the gas to keep up with a 12-year-old behind the wheel. Police dash cam video shows the dangerous pursuit just north of Houston at speeds well beyond legal limits. You're watching the child weave in and out of traffic, racing through red lights and into oncoming traffic. OnStar ultimately ended the chase by remotely disabling the car in Montgomery, but not before the 12-year-old sideswiped at least one other vehicle. Remarkably, no one was injured. 7 Fort Hood soldiers visiting New Braunfels for the 4th of July holiday came under gunfire early this morning. The soldiers were trying to help when they were targeted. The 7 soldiers were visiting a city park a little after midnight when they tried to stop an argument between a man and a woman, according to New Braunfels police. The woman reportedly gave a handgun to the man, then he fired 19 shots at the soldiers. A soldier was able to return gunfire with his own gun. The suspect was grazed in the elbow by a bullet. None of the soldiers were hurt. Police later spotted the duo's car at a nearby gas station and arrested them. Police say charges are not expected against the soldiers. A Bryan man was killed over the weekend in a bull riding accident. 22-year-old Josh Sokola died during a competitive bull riding event in LaGrange. Witnesses say he was hurt by a bull he was riding. According to Fayette County EMS, crews responded to the event to find Sokola in cardiac arrest. He was taken to St. Mark's Medical Center where he died. According to organizers at the competition, Sokola was competing in the 11th annual Backyard Bull Bash at the Buckin Inn Arena on FM 2145 in LaGrange at the time of the accident. ISIS says it's behind yesterday's bombing attack in Baghdad. As Charlie Daggett reports from London, more than 200 were killed, the worst attack there since just after the U.S. invasion in 2003.
Even in a country awash in bloodshed, this was bad. The ISIS suicide bomber knew just where and when to strike to kill as many civilians as possible. The holy month of Ramadan ends this week, and cafes and shops along the boulevard were packed full of families enjoying the cool of the night after fasting through the long, hot day when the car bomb went off. Even as they carried more body bags away from the rubble and wreckage, it was already clear that this was the worst single terror attack to hit the capital in years. I swear to God, the government is a failure, this woman says. They are the ones who brought terrorism here. The attack came only about a week after Iraqi government forces completely recaptured the nearby city of Fallujah in a fierce battle that lasted for weeks. As they hold vigils for victims in Iraq, there are many questions, but one dead certainty: that another ISIS attack will come. With public anger mounting, the Iraqi Justice Ministry announced that 5 convicted terrorists were executed this morning. Officials said they wanted bereaved families to know that they're continuing to deliver punishment to those whose hands are stained with Iraqi blood. Charlie Daggett, CBS News, London.
Are the apps on your smartphone giving hackers a front row seat to your personal information? Details just ahead. Later in sports, we'll tell you how Aggie Alex Caruso did in his NBA Summer League debut.
News 3 weather from the Pinpoint Forecast team. Brought to you by the Bank and Trust, local bank, local bankers, and now local weather.
Well, this Independence Day was not unlike any others across the Brazos Valley because it was hot and humid again today. And temperatures, we've already cooled off, but it's still pretty warm out there for 10 o'clock, 84 degrees. We're not going to drop much below this, though, as our dew points are in the mid to upper 70s. A heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. Tuesday. We have the heat index values about 105 to 110 tomorrow, and the heat just continues to go on through this week. But what are we at right now? Sitting at about 84 here, 87 in Centerville, 85 in Huntsville, 83 in Navasota as you're watching the fireworks going up throughout the Brazos Valley, and things looking pretty good across the area, but still pretty humid and pretty hot. And expecting another warm night tonight. A heat advisory continues through 8 p.m. on Tuesday. That's for the entire Brazos Valley, so another warm day on your Tuesday. But what does it feel like right now? Still feels like in the low 90s and upper 80s in most of the area, so it's still pretty warm at 10 o'clock, and most places when you cool off at night, it's usually a chance to get a break from the heat, but we got that heat advisory in effect. One of the reasons is because it hasn't really cooled off at night. Last night we dropped down to 80 degrees, so it was still pretty warm, still feeling pretty warm in the overnight hours, but we might see those temperatures feeling around 80 degrees in the morning and then quickly feeling about 93 by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then by the afternoon, yeah, you're not going to like this forecast, feeling about 105 to 110 across the entire Brazos Valley. It'll be pretty hot and it'll be rather humid across the region. It will start to cool off, but it won't be quite as cool as we'd like it to be by tomorrow night. But we might see a stray shower work its way in here overnight, but most of the activity up to our north and northwest will probably break up before it makes it that far south towards the morning hours. You still could see a stray shower or a little bit of a sprinkle towards tomorrow morning, but I think things will clear out by the afternoon. We'll see plenty of sunshine across, especially the western half of the area by Tuesday afternoon, evening, and that's going to help things warm up pretty quickly. Look at these highs today across the state. I'm going to step out of the way for just a second here. 108 in Midland, 107 in Del Rio, 107 in Laredo, 98 in Amarillo, so it was pretty hot across the western part of the state, and we had the heat too. We actually felt that hot across most of the eastern part of the state of Texas, even though we had low to mid 90s for highs. It's still pretty hot across the region too. All these orange shaded counties are heat advisories, and those continue through tomorrow for most of the state. But the heat builds this week, high pressure settling in, temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, staying hot and humid across the Brazos Valley. But lows tonight dropping to the upper 70s and even some mid 70s, but still going to be a very warm night ahead. Highs tomorrow right around average, but still the humidity is the main factor here, making it feel like about 105 to 110, and your 7-day forecast staying hot and humid across the Brazos Valley with some cloud cover here and there, but overall just looks like a very warm forecast setting up for the area and just a bit of a humid week for the Brazos Valley. But we might have a chance to cool down a little bit by next weekend, Clay. But yeah, today was a great day to celebrate our country's independence. It was just kind of humid.
Very humid, but great weather if you can get to the pool this week or go to the beach or you're out on the lake and go water skiing. It's a perfect forecast for that.
Excellent ideas right there.
All right, thanks very much, Mac. Well, hackers could be gaining access to your personal information through smartphone apps.
Coming up tomorrow on BBTN, we're sitting down with the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History. Tune in to get the details on Tarzan's official visit.
Plus, why are kids putting their clothes on before jumping into the pool? Details on the technique they're learning and why your child might want to do the same.
And I'll be breaking down the hottest temps of the week. Can we expect a cool down anytime soon? I'll have the details tomorrow on BBTN.
You're watching KBTX News 3, the people you know, the news you trust.
Popular apps on your smartphone can be convenient and fun, but some also carry malicious software known as malware, which gives hackers easy access to your personal information. Anna Werner takes a look at how you can protect yourself against the hackers' methods.
Any way that I had money that they could take, they got hold of it.
California's Susan Harvey says she was a victim after she used a debit card to download a slot machine game app to her cell phone through a Google Play Store account.
It was something that you purchased once for like $15.
When she went to reload the game, she found hundreds of purchases had been made. By her math, more than $5,000 worth of transactions.
My heart sank. I sat there looking at it and I rolling through, and I physically, I was sick, because I didn't know what they were.
Some of the information these apps ask for are way beyond what they should be asking for.
That story's no surprise to cybersecurity expert Gary Milievsky, whose company tracks malware. He says certain apps are designed to steal your personal information.
What are the consequences for me as a consumer?
You're going to lose your identity. You're going to wonder why there was a transaction. You're going to wonder how someone got into your bank account and paid a bill that doesn't exist.
Because Milievsky says when you download an app, you're also giving the app permission to access other parts of your phone, like an alarm clock app that can track phone calls.
You think an alarm clock needs all those permissions? Access to the internet over Wi-Fi, your call information, calls you've made, call history, your device ID. This to me is not a safe alarm clock.
And there's the weather and flashlight apps he says exploit legitimate banking apps to capture information, as he showed us in a demonstration of what could happen when someone takes a photo of a check to send to their bank.
And what happens to the check now?
Well, the flashlight app spies on the camera and noticed the check and grabbed a copy of it. Shipped it off to a server somewhere far away.
Last year, the group FireEye discovered 11 malware apps being used on iPhones that gathered users' sensitive information and sent it to a remote server. The information included text messages, Skype calls, contacts, and photos. Apple fought back by removing the apps and putting stricter security measures in place.
They get at your GPS, your contacts list, to build a profile on you.
Apps are simply collecting information for advertising purposes. In 2014, the Federal Trade Commission settled a lawsuit with a company over its popular Brightest flashlight app, alleging it transmitted consumers' personal information to third parties without telling them.
Aggie and Consol Tiger Alex Caruso made his first NBA Summer League appearance today. We'll let you know how he fared ahead in sports. Plus, we'll talk plenty of baseball, Astros, Rangers, and the Brazos Valley Bombers, all in action on Independence Day.
Sports is presented by Allen Honda, corner of Southwest Parkway and Highway 6. Allen's got your Honda. From the KBTX Sports Center, News 3 Sports starts now.
You think baseball mostly when you think of sports on the 4th of July, but it's always been basketball for College Station native Alex Caruso. That is what he was playing for the first time as a pro today. The former Consol Tiger and Texas A&M basketball star making his NBA Summer League debut for the Philadelphia 76ers today against the Celtics in Utah. Caruso played 8 minutes and scored 2 points. He also had a rebound, a steal, and 2 turnovers. Boston won the game 102-94. Caruso and the Sixers face San Antonio tomorrow at 4. Well, the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what Kevin Durant decided to do today. Durant is leaving Oklahoma City to sign with Golden State, giving the Warriors a dream team like starting lineup of Durant, two-time NBA MVP Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. The deal 2 years for just over $54 million for the 7-time All-Star. Golden State had to make room for Durant in their losses. The Mavericks gained. Dallas will sign former Golden State forward Harrison Barnes to a 4-year, $94 million deal. They've agreed to a trade to get center Andrew Bogut. Also on a very busy Independence Day, the Spurs have agreed to a deal with Pau Gasol. Word is Tim Duncan is leaning towards retirement. On the diamond, it's Military Appreciation Day at Nutrabolt Stadium as the Bombers host the Victoria Generals this afternoon. Bombers flashing some star-spangled leather in the top of the first inning. Anthony Herrera sliding in to make a grab off the bat of Sam Mahovsky, but the Generals get on the scoreboard first. Top of the second inning, Bryce Brandel grounds it to first. Zach McGuire lets it roll past him. Christian Cottle scores on the error to make it 1-0 Victoria, but the Bombers aren't down for long with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the bottom of the second. Garrett McCain rips a shot down the third base line, and all 3 runners will come home. Bombers go on to blow out the Generals 10-2. The Astros host the Mariners on the 4th of July. Both teams tied for second in the AL West. The Astros get the scoring started in their first at-bat. With the bases loaded, Luis Valbuena lifts a fly ball to center. Plenty deep to get George Springer home, make it a 1-0 ball game. But the Astros won't lead it for long. Top of the second, Seattle answers. Dae-Ho Lee singles to right off the wall. Kyle Seager races around the bases. And we're even at 1. Lance McCullers makes sure that that's the only run Seattle gets today, however. He strikes out 10, gives up just that 1 run on 5 hits in 7 innings on the mound. George Springer gives the Astros the lead for good in the 5th. Solo homer is his 19th of the season. Astros win on the 4th of July for the first time in 10 years. 2-1 is your final. Both the Astros and Mariners still chasing the Rangers in the AL West. Texas visiting the Red Sox today. Great start for Texas at Fenway Park, up 1-0, and tack it on 2 more. Rougned Odor singles to right. Both Adrian Beltre and Prince Fielder score. Texas on top 4-0 after the top of the first, but it's all downhill from there. Boston cuts it to 4-3 in the third and goes ahead to stay on Brock Holt's 2-run blast. Boston bangs out 4 homers on the day. They take down Texas 12-5. Finally, here's hoping that you've done the bulk of your 4th of July eating before watching this, the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Competition. This is the 100th edition of the event, and Joey Chestnut just about eats that many. He throws down 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes, breaking his own world record of 69 that he set in 2013. Matt Stoney upset Chestnut a year ago, but he finished second today. 17 dogs back, only with 53. My 3-year-old son was watching with my wife today. He said, "Mommy, that's yucky. Turn it off. I bet he has a tummy ache."
Very smart
truth
kid.
from a 3-year-old.
Absolutely. On your hot dogs, ketchup or mustard? What do you prefer?
A little mustard and ketchup. Both.
I'm a ketchup guy. I never liked mustard, but they're good though on a hot summer day, especially 4th of July.
Just 1 or 2 though, not 70.
Yeah, not me either. Thanks, Cody.
You bet.
We'll have a final look at weather after this. But first, a quick look outside from our Live On Network.
Here are tonight's winning Texas Lottery numbers, brought to you by Star Furniture.
Well, Legoland, California now houses the tallest Lego model in the United States. The One World Trade Center tower was unveiled as part of an updated New York Miniland cluster at the San Diego theme park. The real tower is more than 1,700 feet tall. The Lego version is about 26. 8 master model builders spent more than 1,200 hours completing it. The tower was built with 250,000 Lego pieces and weighs more than 1,000 pounds.
That's amazing.
That's impressive.
How do you get a job as a master Lego builder too?
I don't know, and I love Legos growing up, always enjoyed them, but I don't think I'd have the patience to put something together that elaborate. That is a very impressive structure.
It's pretty crazy, yeah. The temperatures the next couple of days are going to be pretty hot. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be building many Legos outside this week here in the Brazos Valley because it's going to be kind of humid. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those Legos melted this week around here.
Good weather to be indoors building Legos.
Yeah, indoors, or maybe even hit the pool, cool off a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a happy Independence Day from all of us here at KBTX. That's all of our time tonight. More local news tomorrow on Brazos Valley This Morning or anytime on our web channel, kbtx.com.
Thank you for watching News 3 at 10 on KBTX. The people you know, the news you trust.